Welcome to the Insurance Brokers Podcast, Helpful Hints. Here we break down the best, most informative bits of our full-length interviews.
If we take it from the strategic conversation, the high-level conversation, down to sort of practical, tangible things that companies are trying to do now, can you give us some examples or thoughts about changes that you've seen? So I'll give you an example and then let me know. So, for example, to turn a smaller business from sort of a silo orientated to a customer centric, and I know you know who I'm thinking of in this conversation, to a customer centric approach around all the different elements of the business, there are a number of factors that need to be considered, right through from the confidence of the front staff to move, the client around all the different parts of the business and understand all the different parts of the business. So the confidence through to the trust between staff and employees in different departments. So there are a number of different factors when you're trying to make the strategic level to get them filtered down to the front level. Can you give us some of your insight and thoughts and what you've come across and how you've sort of started to overcome them for anybody listening that's trying to do a similar kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely, Sarah. I mean, you touch on a really important point that if people continue to work in their individual silos, if they're client executives going out and talking to clients all the time, or if they're part of the risk management team offering risk consultancy services, or if they're part of other parts of the business offering additional services and facilities and solutions to a client, it is a really difficult job getting those different silos working together unless they trust each other, first and foremost. And what do I mean by that? Well, we've all heard the stories of client executives saying, well, I'm not introducing them to my business anymore because the last time I introduced them, something went terribly wrong. And therefore it threatened the business relationship. That's very, very counterproductive. So the first thing you have to do is not treat them as silos. Yes, they all have different jobs, they all have different functions, but they are all trying to achieve the same thing, which is delivering an holistic and comprehensive service to their collective client. And so the only way you're going to get around that is by, forcing people to work together, putting people in a position where they will naturally work together. So, for example, if you have a common client or if you have a client where you feel that different parts of the business could be usefully engaged with that client, then when you're talking about your client strategy, your renewal strategy, or your new business strategy, or your prospecting strategy, then bring people together from different parts of the business at stage one. Again, if you look at prospecting or even renewal business, it's so common for client executives to focus on the renewal, focus on all the issues around renewal. And then when they realize perhaps they're into competition, how can I defend myself? Let's bring the risk management guys in. Let's bring the employee benefits people in. They're almost brought in as a last resort because they're forced to. My view is that you should create a process by which those people are naturally engaged in all of those discussions as a matter of course, and make that part of we've used the word before, make that part of the culture of the business and the way that you provide service to customers.
I think if a company can crack that, which you guys are well on the way to doing, then that is such an incredible USP for the company, because it's like a machine that is well oiled and working together rather than sort of separately. And I think that very, very niche concept of bringing all different parts together is such a needed sort of shift in the way the industry is at the moment.
Yeah. Can I just expand on that very slightly, Sarah, because I'm sure that anybody listening to this has heard many times in the past that we need to get people working together. It's a mantra that everybody talks about, and we all know it's the right thing to do. We all know from a client perspective it's what enhances the service that we provide is to bring more opinions, more perspectives, more views, and more solutions to a client at any one point.